Professor Jan Theorell, member of the Committee for the Economic Sciences Prize. Please tell us, what is this year's Economics Prize about?
So it's about what explains differences in prosperity between countries. And that an important reason for this is what the laureates call institutions, societal institutions, both political, think about democracy or autocracy, and economic, so how the markets function and how well your property is protected, for example.
And what did they find out?
So what they found was that what they call inclusive institutions, where whatever I invest is broadly protected in an economic sense, and political institutions, such as whether I have the right to vote or not, are important for prosperity. So more inclusive institutions, more prosperity. More extractive institutions, which is the opposite, that's when the state just could steal back from the ordinary people whatever they have saved or accumulated, or autocracy is bad for growth and long-run prosperity.
And groundbreaking, you said. Well, we always say that. What is groundbreaking about this year's prize?
So actually two things. One is just to show empirically, to demonstrate that there is a cause from institutions on prosperity. That's a really difficult thing in itself. It's also theoretically, because if you think about it, if you know this, that some institutions are better for growth, why don't everyone just introduce these institutions? So they have a very elaborated theoretical explanation for why institutions are persistent. You get trapped in the situations with these extractive institutions, although nobody actually wants them.
So how could this price affect our daily lives, for example, knowing this?
So I think most importantly is that they set very clearly what the goals should be. That inclusive institutions are what is good for long-run growth and prosperity. They don't provide any simple recipes for how to get there, but just to showing that this should have the highest priority, I think in itself is important.
So could one say, well, democracies are better than non-democracies?
Democracies are, yes, they have shown that in other work, on average, in the long run, better at promoting growth. That doesn't mean that all autocracies are poor. I mean, everybody can think about China, for example. But it means that that kind of growth is not as stable as the kind of growth you get in a democracy.
So there are 3 laureates. What can you tell us about them?
I think one important thing to tell about them is that although they are, as we are used to, all working in an American university, none of them actually are Americans from the origin. So one of them is from Turkey and 2 others are British.
Okay. And when they got this call, was there anything specific about the call?
This was the first time I ever attended one of these calls, so I don't know how this usually happens, but I thought it was interesting that you expect them to be at bed back in the US. But actually, the person we got on hold, he was on his hotel balcony in Athens, and he was very much awake.
And he was very happy.
And he was very, very excited, very happy.
Yes, we heard him here.
Yeah.
So, why are you personally so excited about this year's prize? What's so special to you?
So I am a political scientist, so I'm not an economist. And I think that's important because it's very important for my field as well. This is a kind of research that crosses disciplinary borders. It doesn't only concern economics, but also political science, economic history, and that's because this has political implications, and that's very important for my discipline.
And will this be the future, do you think, of the prizes that are more crossed political science, economy?
Difficult to tell, but I think just for the reason that economists, they expand and study broader and broader topics, I think that this will be reflected. Of course, not every single year, but as a large trend, yes.
Professor Jan Theorell, thank you so much for explaining the prize to us.
Thank you. Thank you.